Rat to the industry! Yeah!
Woohoo! What's up, guys? Feels good to be back on the bike. The short bus. Any of you guys ever been on a short bus before? I have. You know the double T was on the short bus, right? Anyways, guys, I want to talk to you guys about power to weight ratios and the importance they play. You may think that 120 horsepower isn't a lot of horsepower, but when you're only pushing 400 pounds, it turns into a very quick vehicle. Okay, so basically what I'm gonna reference is the difference between, motorcycles and cars. They have a big difference in power, but also a big difference in weight, and that's why bikes are so fast, right? It's kind of common sense. I want to ride that thing. I should go ask him if I can do a vlog on it. Or this lady's bicycle. I could just... No, I wouldn't steal it. That would be mean. Anyways, power to weight ratio. Very important. Well, first thing you have to understand is the difference between brake horsepower or crank horsepower, which is the exact same thing, or rear wheel horsepower. Okay, those are both very different. Brake horsepower or crank horsepower is the amount of power that's coming from the engine alone. It's the amount of power that's getting to the crankshaft. Alright? Now, rear wheel horsepower is the amount that, when you watch those dynos, those Supras that freaking put down 800 horsepower in the dyno, yeah, that's rear wheel horsepower. Woo! That's how much power it's getting to the wheels. I'm having fun. Now, you lose some power from the crankshaft to the rear wheel. That's just because it has to go through the clutch, the transmission, the drive shaft, and into the differential. You lose a lot of power that way. So when say my bike had 140 horsepower to the crank stock. Once you get through the transmission and through the chain and onto the tire, that's gone down to about 125-ish. It depends with each bike is different. Each vehicle is different. You normally lose, I don't know, 10 to 15, 20 horsepower, something like that. Now 125 horsepower to the wheel is still a lot for a bike. Let's see, this thing weighed 475 pounds when it was stock, but I took off all the front fairings, which all weighed about 50 pounds, something like that. So I'm running at a lot less weight. So you have to take that into account. And the rider. I always add on my 180 pounds of myself onto the equation. So this bike stock with all the fairings and with my 180 pounds creates 482 horsepower per ton. A ton is 2,000 pounds, in case you didn't know. So 482 horsepower per ton. That's with the rider's weight. I love showing off. Okay, so 482. What else has around that power? You might be asking me. Well, a Ferrari Enzo has about 480 horsepower per ton. That's to the crankshaft. So a Ferrari Enzo has the exact same power to weight ratio as my 94 Kawasaki Ninja 900, which is pretty cool. Also an Ariel Atom, the old Ariel Atoms that had the 2000cc motors, that has the same. The V8 Atom is more into to like 550 horsepower per ton. Okay, so now what about leader bikes? Now those things are freaking insane, okay? The R1 that I rode, let's go down here. I hope the parents aren't out there, they'll be pissed at me. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like calling cops on me and shit. Okay, so leader bikes. The R1 that I rode was not stock. it had about 175 horsepower to the wheels. That's about 190 to the crank, which is similar to the BMW S1000 double A, the Z double A. Now that is a fast motorcycle. The R1 that I rode is ridiculous. Those things only weigh 380 pounds, whereas this weighs 475. Yeah, they're ridiculous. So the power to weight ratio with me as a 180 pound rider, I'm lost in this suburbia hell. Oh shit, I know this place. I know the people that live there. That's weird. Okay, so how much power to weight ratio was that R1 putting out with me on it? It was about 747 horsepower per ton to the crankshaft. That's at 190 horsepower to the crank. Now I don't know about you, but that is a lot of power. 747 horsepower. Now what is similar to that in car terms? I'm gonna go ahead and post some numbers up because I kind of forgot what all of them were. The Bugatti is this. I think it's around 550 something. The McLaren F1 I think is in the mid 600s. No. I'll go and annotate the McLaren F1 in there. Okay, one of them was the Celine S7 twin turbo. It wasn't just the regular twin turbo, it was the actual like race version. And that thing had like 800 and something horsepower per ton. That car has about the same power to weight ratio as the R1 that I rode. But yeah, that's the importance of power to weight ratio. If you were interested in the topic, I don't know, maybe it bores the shit out of you. I always like to brag because I'm like, yeah, my bike has more power to weight ratio than your Ferrari does. Not many cars can beat bikes in that category. I'll go ahead and list some bike numbers up. Power to weight ratio bikes. Here they come. Anyways, guys, I hope that was very informative and that you got some out of it. If you want to go look up your power to weight ratio, go ahead and look it up and put it in the comments. Because each rider's different, because we each weigh different, and each bike is different. So you also have to take into account, if you know your rear wheel horsepower, then you got to take that into account and figure out your crank horsepower in order to match it up with the cars. Because almost all cars, if you look at the horsepower, they're always talking about the crank. So anyways, I'll talk to y'all later. See ya.